அம்பேத்கருடைய பிறந்த நாளை இன்றைக்கு சமத்துவ நாளாக கொண்டாடுகின்றோம். முத்தமிழ் கலைஞர் அவர்கள் இந்தியாவிலேயே முதன்முறையாக சென்னை சட்ட பல்கலைக்கழகத்திற்கு அண்ணல் அம்பேத்கருடைய பெயரை சூட்டி அழகு பார்த்தார்கள். அம்பேத்கருக்கு சென்னையில மணிமண்டபம் கட்டியதும் நம்முடைய முத்தமிழ் கலைஞர் அவர்கள் தான். இன்றைக்கு கலைஞர் வழியில அம்பேத்கருடைய லட்சியங்களை உயர்த்தி பிடித்துக் கொண்டிருப்பவர் தான் நம்முடைய முதலமைச்சர் அவர்கள். பட்டியலின பழங்குடியின மக்கள் சமூக ரீதியாக விடுதலை பெற வேண்டும். அது மட்டுமல்ல, பொருளாதார விடுதலையும் அவர்கள் அடைய வேண்டும். அதற்காகத்தான் அம்பேத்கர் தொழில் முன்னோடிகள் திட்டம் போன்ற திட்டங்களை நம்முடைய முதலமைச்சர் அவர்கள் செயல்படுத்தி வருகின்றார்கள். பட்டியல பழங்குடியின மக்களுடைய ஒட்டுமொத்த வளர்ச்சிக்காகவும் ஏராளமான திட்டங்களை செயல்படுத்தி வருகிறது நம்முடைய அரசு. அதற்கு ஒரு சிறந்த உதாரணம் தான் இன்றைக்கு நடந்திருக்கக்கூடிய இந்த நிகழ்ச்சி. ஆகவே அண்ணல் அம்பேத்கருடைய லட்சியத்திற்காக எந்த லட்சியத்திற்காக உழைத்தார்களோ அந்த லட்சியத்தை அடைவதற்கு நாம் அனைவரும் ஓரணியில் நின்று உறுதியுடன் பயணிப்போம். நலத்திட்டங்களை பெற வந்துள்ள அத்தனை பேருக்கும் என்னுடைய வாழ்த்துக்களை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கின்றேன். அண்ணல் அம்பேத்கர் புகழ் ஓங்கட்டும். இன்று மட்டுமல்ல, எல்லா நாளுமே சமத்துவ நாளாக அமையட்டும் என்று கூறி வாய்ப்புக்கு நன்றி கூறி விடைபெறுகின்றேன். நன்றி, வணக்கம்.
மிக்க நன்றி ஐயா. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor to welcome a very special guest to the Equality Day celebration, Thiru Prakash Ambedkar, the grandson of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, the architect of our constitution and the champion of social justice. Thiru Prakash Ambedkar has dedicated his life to fighting for equality, human rights and the upliftment of the marginalized values that resonate deeply with Tamilnadu's rich legacy of social justice and reform. We now invite Thiru Prakash Ambedkar and address this esteemed gathering. Please welcome, sir.
Honorable Chief Minister, Mr. Stalin, I thank him for inviting me to this function, where once again two thoughts of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. One is annihilation of caste and the other is riddles of Hinduism, which is being translated into Tamil, is being inaugurated and distributed to the people of Tamil Nadu. I welcome his ideas and his thoughts also. Deputy Chief Minister on the state, dear Udayanandanji Stalin. Then you have Tirumalam, who is my friend and younger brother. Indian National Congress President Selva, kindly excuse me for my pronunciations. Selva Pillaramna. Then PWD Minister Mr. V.M. Veluji and organizer of this function, Minister for Adi Welfare, Dr. M. Mathivandan, and one of my colleagues in the Parliament, Mr. A. Raja, and other members of the dais. I would like to put the annihilation of caste not in the sense we look at annihilation, but in the other sense, does it amounts to building of a nation and putting across the Indian society the grounds on which India could not get freedom for the last 2000 years as we see it. Yes, I would say, what are the drawbacks of the caste? That is one of the most important. One of the most important thing which Dr. Ambedkar spoke in the annihilation of caste, as theology support the caste system. And if theology supports the caste system, then it is going to be a matter of life. And for years to come, a part of an Indian society and the Indian living beings. So there he suggested was that those Shastras which the caste system is based, unless they are destructed, unless they are thrown away, you can't have a society which is built on equality, fraternity, and brotherhood. I again thank the Chief Minister for making 14th April a day of equality. At least that gets into the minds of the common man that our goal in future is to establish an equality in the society, and that is going to be the basic feature of the Indian society. I think so that's an idea which has been being grouted from a state. We have divided India into two parts, above India and below India. The states below India has been a progressive state, a changing state, and acceptable to the new forms of society. What originates from the states which are lower down India later on becomes part and parcel of the rest of the country. And there I think so we are, the southern states, I may put it, are the leaders of the social movement in this country, which is accepted by the northern states after a period of time. So what needs to be done now is basically we have to build up an associated society, an associated life of living. In that associated life of living, there's a new concept which has come up, is honor killing. I'm glad that the report on crime published by the Government of India states that Tamilnadu has one of the least honor killing in the state. I would request the Chief Minister that there is no law as far as honor killing is concerned. If the state can take up this issue and frame a law, I think so that would be the guiding principle for the rest of the nation, where honor killing has now become a part of life. They place a life of a people, a life of a person, secondary to the life of the society or to the caste. The life of the caste is taken as the first part, and the life as a person taken as the second part, and where he is sacrificed in the name of caste. I think so that's one issue which needs to be addressed, and that will be addressed because this is one of the most important things which Dr. Ambedkar said it, that caste destroys the concept of ethics and morality. If you want to have ethics and morality again, we have to address the new systems which are emerging, and honor killing is one of the new systems which is emerging in maintaining the society, maintaining the caste system in this country. The other issue which Dr. Ambedkar spoke of is that the caste does not allow an association within the society. If you have to take the example of the state of those Indian citizens who were in America and they have been deported from America to India, they were changed and brought about. Do we feel sad about it? Are we hurt about it? I didn't see anywhere, at least few people condemning it and saying that this was a bad. But as a society, did we accept it? We accept it as a part of our life because chaining a people, subjugating a people, giving a secondary citizen is part of our life. And therefore we didn't feel bad about it when an Indian citizen was treated very badly. He was changed and brought back to India. We didn't feel bad about it. And that is where the associated living of a people comes into issue. If it was an associated living, we would have condemned it, we would have agitated against it, and we would have seen to it that the next batch of immigration which comes into the country is brought honorably in this country. And that is where I would say we as an Indians have to address the society at large. I put it in other words that annihilation of caste is nothing but a building of a nation. If you want to really build up a nation, because I don't still believe after being in 45 years of in this political life, we have a very bright future. I don't think so. So there is no guarantee. I'll just ask you one simple question. Don't answer me, answer to yourself. In the present situation, whom do you think at the national level is a person who you'd like to believe? Answer yourself within 1 minute. I've been posing this question for a long period of time. The answer is nil. You have to think over it. It is not spontaneous. If it is not spontaneous, it means there's absence of person whom you can believe. If there's absence of person whom you can believe, then what happens during crisis? It happens within crisis that you don't have a person to believe, so it becomes into one-to-one. And when it becomes into one-to-one, there is fragmentation not only of thought, but fragmentation of the people living in those areas. So that is where we are. And therefore, what needs to be imbibed into the society is the constitutional morality of saying that we will follow the rule of law. Unless and until some sort of morality is developed in this country. Some sets of rules of morality are developed in this country, which will be not only a guiding principle, but which will also be an ideas on which he can decide whether it's on right side or the wrong side of it. Moral principles are principle which gives you, are you on the right side or on the wrong side? Once people are ready to decide on which side, they are right side or wrong side, I think so, we'll have corrections within the society. Otherwise, the drift that we see will go on for a long period of time as I see it. The other issue which Dr. Ambedkar raised was question of faith, which he said, and your belief. Revolution and the riddles of Hinduism, where we pose two questions is revolution and counter-revolution. The second is principles of Rama, which is laid down in that book. He raised a very simple question saying that a form of marriage is bringing about law and order within the society. This is where you have a family, and through that family you have a peace in this society. He raised this question by saying that within the family, if somebody is going to take doubts, and if doubts are taken, and just because the doubts are taken, you break the family, what happens? And therefore, what he meant was that constitutional morality and by rule of law in saying that if you have a society which is based on principles, accepted base of principles, then you will have peace and prosperity within the society. If you're not going to follow the rule of law, but if you're going to follow the accusations that he have made, he said it's going to lead to a debaucherous society, and that debaucherous society can never have peace and tranquility within the society. I would say further, that once we look at the caste, what has it created? I would say it has created a dead end. It has paralyzed the society. It has crippled the people. And it has made helplessness as it is. And therefore, the first casualty in the Indian society is the charity. Feeling of charity is the casualty. Feeling of oneness is the casualty. Feeling of respect to the fellow beings is a casualty. Therefore, I gave the example of the immigrants being brought back from America. We didn't feel anything about it. That is because charity is missing in the society. I hope these two books are still, and the philosophy is still relevant for the society. Though it was written in 1918, it was thrice revised, but at the present moment, it is relevant for the country. As I have already mentioned, given an example as to whom do we believe within the leaders that we have. It was just an example that we are drifting away. We are falling apart. There is a distrust which is being developed. There are fissures being developed in the society. And to combat that, I would say Dr. Ambedkar introduced Article 15 in the Constitution. He gave one norm of life to the society which don't they have to do it. And the second don't is Article 15, which the state must not prosecute it. Or state should not adhere to it. I would say these two, Article 15 and annihilation of caste, is the basis for building up a nation. We are yet not a nation. We are in a development stage of a nation. If the nationhood has to be achieved, then the fissures within the Indian society which divided us for last so many years should be given up, should be discarded, and should be thrown away from the society, so you have a new ethos. Dr. Ambedkar spoke of the Roman society between Romans and Athens, where he gave an example in saying the Romans robbed the Athens of their right by saying that the Roman priest will decide what is right and wrong.